Well, hello there. Welcome to Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel. You are very, very welcome. I have my water. I have my coffee. Thank you very much to the person that donated the coffee. It never goes amiss. I hope you're all sitting comfortably and looking forward to another exciting show. Lots to pack in. If good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Yes, if you're new to this channel, then, excuse me, frog in the throat. If you're new to this channel, then you probably want to know what it's all about. If you're watching live or you're watching on catch up, this is a channel which is devoted 100% to the life and memory legacy of Elvis Presley. We treat him with the utmost respect. We don't pretend that he is still around or anything like that, or he faked his death or those silly things. We just do we honor his memory, and we try and keep it alive and keep it out there. So the more people that watch this video, the better. If you can give it a like, all the better, because that means that YouTube notice that you like the video and they promote it, and then more Elvis fans get to see it. And the more Elvis fans that get to see these videos, the more the idea of what this channel is about works. So that's basically it. What have we got for you? We've got a topic, of course, unseen Elvis footage. This day in Elvis history, a live poll for you to vote on. Underrated Elvis song, a song I wish Elvis had recorded. Dylan's Elvis tale, that will be coming up a little bit sooner than normal, right after the quiz this week, because he has other business to take care of, don't you, Dylan? And caption this photo, a smoking hot photo. But before I go any further, are we all looking forward to this? Yes. It says a Netflix documentary, Return of the King. Okay, Return of the King. I don't think he even went away. So, he didn't go anywhere for him to return. But anyway, that's what they're calling it. The Fall and Rise of Elvis Presley. And it's on Netflix on November the 13th, which I think is Wednesday, is it? Is that right? 11th is Monday, 12th is Tuesday. Yes. So I will be watching that, and I will be asking you to call in next week and tell me what you thought of it. Hopefully a lot of you are going to be able to watch it on Netflix or other ways. Yes. And Jenny says she's looking forward to it. Dylan says never went anywhere. The movies kept him out there. Of course they did, yeah. But I suppose they have to make it sound dramatic, like he went away and he resurrected himself. Of course, there's Baz is in it. Priscilla, Bruce Springsteen. They weren't in the other thing, the Resurrecting Elvis or whatever it was called. I can't remember what it was. The thing that we saw in the movie theaters last week. Last year. Steve Binder was in that one, wasn't he? I don't think Steve is in this one. So, Vincenzo says he's looking forward to it as well. Well, like I say, make a note in your diary that next week we'll be talking about that Return of the King. Even if you didn't get to watch it, tune in, because you will hear what other people thought about it. Okay, well, that's very good. Just hiding a comment there. No bad language, please. Right, now, we're going to do the quiz, and then we will do Dylan. Now, the quiz is... last week I did general knowledge, and we had a sort of even... I'll just put that back on the screen. We had an even sort of spread of people getting the answers right. So I thought we'd do general knowledge again. And so stand by, 6 questions. I've tried to kind of mix them up as much as I can. And I don't see Dave on the comments, so it looks like I'll be moderating myself. And the first question is, oh, do you know something? I meant to do something before the quiz, and of course it's the Hidden Elvis clue.
Hidden Elvis clue number 1.
Yeah, so clue number 1 for Hidden Elvis, and it is, this is Elvis. Okay, so make a note of that. There'll be another 3 clues coming up. And when you put them all together, I'll tell you what it is, whether it's an Elvis film, an Elvis song, Elvis piece of clothing or something like that. And then you can type your answer on the chat and see who the first person is to get it right and see who else gets it right as well. So that's the clue number 1. This is Elvis. And question number 1, stand by, general knowledge, Elvis Presley general knowledge. What was the first song Elvis sang on his last Ed Sullivan show? The final song on the last Ed Sullivan show. Now, let's have a look. Dylan says, when my blue moon turns to gold again. Susan S. says, peace in the valley. Tanya says, love me. Quite a few peace in the valleys coming up. And it is, believe it or not, peace in the valley. So I'm going to use blue ink this week, folks. And I'm going to say, I think it was Susan, wasn't it? Am I right in saying that? Susan. Yes, Susan S. Congratulations, Susan. Yeah. And then Ed came out, didn't he? And he said, a real fine, decent boy. And you get this, Susan.
Well, the image is one thing and a human being is another.
Yeah. You get the quiz jingle. Question number 2. What was the date of his second Ed Sullivan appearance? So there's 2 questions here about the Ed Sullivan shows. What was the date of his second Ed Sullivan appearance? And I'll have to watch closely here. Don't want to miss it. Not many people typing the answer yet. Margaret says 1962. Dylan says not a clue, but I think it was 56. July 4th, 56. That was the Steve Allen show. Sandra P says 1959. Wow. I want the month, the date, and the year. So I want the month, the date, and the year. Have I got you stumped, I wonder? September 4th, 1956. Bossa Nova says phone call grr. Oh no, somebody's ringing you. January 1957. Now this is the second Ed Sullivan appearance. Okay, I'm only going to give you a few more seconds and it will be the first time ever nobody... Oh. As soon as I said that, Susan S. Well done, Susan S. That's 2 in a row for you now. And it is October the 28th, 1956.
Well, the image is one thing and a human being is another.
Now, basically what we have here is we have a multiple choice question. I like multiple choice questions, I must admit, because then you know the answer is in there. And it's it's not a question about Ed Sullivan, don't worry. How much did Flaming Star gross at the US and Canadian box office? Was it $1.5 million, $2 million, or $3.6 million? 1.5, 2 million, or $3.6 million. Now, what do you think of that? Dan O'Malley says 1.5. A lot of people saying 1.5. A lot of people, a lot of people saying 2 million as well. Although Margaret says 3.6. Okay, the first person to get it right, because it was actually $2 million, and it was Dylan. Dylan put a question mark after it, so it was a guess, and it was a lucky guess, my friend.
Well, the image is one thing, and a human being is another.
Well done, Dylan. Well done. Oh, by the way, coming up at the end of the show as well, I've got to tell people who won last month's Fan of the Month quiz. Just reminded me there when I saw Fan of the Month quiz, I've got to tell you who won last month's. So, well done, Dylan. Another multiple choice question. In 1969, what did Elvis say about his career as an electrician? And it is, I blew a fuse, man. I got wired the wrong way, or I ran out of electricity. I blew a fuse, man. I got wired the wrong way. I ran out of electricity. Now, what do you think of that? Susan and Dylan are both saying got wired the wrong way. Blew a fuse, man, says Margaret. I got wired the wrong way. Yeah, he did. From the stage of the International, he said, I got wired the wrong way. And believe it or not, Dylan just pipped Susan. So it's Dylan again. So 2 for Susan and 2 for Dylan.
Well, the image is one thing and a human being is another.
Yeah, I got wired the wrong way. Right, here we go. Fast and Furious. We're getting through these well. Back to 1969. What was Elvis's opening song on July the 31st, 1969? Very simple question. What was Elvis's opening song on July the 31st, 1969? Susan says, Dylan, we're on a roll. Banjo says that's all right. Blue suede shoes. A lot of people saying blue suede shoes. In fact, yeah, nearly everybody is saying blue suede shoes. CC Ryder, Susan Branson, no. And believe it or not, I can't believe it. He's got 3 in a row right. It was Dylan with blue suede shoes. Well done, Dylan.
Well, the image is one thing and a human being is another.
Right. And finally, if you can finish off this quote, it is, those people up there with binoculars look like a... Okay, yeah, frogs is right. And the first person to say frogs, do you know what? These 2 people have just knocked it out of the ballpark this week. It was only Susan and Dylan that were in there first, and it's Susan this time. Yeah, frogs. Those people look like frogs. You always thought when people were... The light shining on the lenses made them look like frogs. Well done, Susan.
Well, the image is one thing and a human being is another.
So that's the Fan of the Month quiz for this week. I'll just move my coffee out the way. As I say, we would normally do the topic now, but we'll do Dylan's Elvis tale first, and then we will do the topic. Dylan's Elvis tales. How are you, young man? Did I put myself in? I didn't. How are you, young man?
Oh, God, never mind.
Yeah, I know. Doodly 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 doop doop doop.
I won't do that. Just, I'll save everybody.
Now, you're going to tell me an Elvis tale, aren't you? And I've got to show some pictures. Is that correct?
Yes, and I'm going to try and do it as fast as I possibly can.
Yes, because you have to be away somewhere pretty soon. That's why we're doing you. That's why we're doing you right after the quiz.
Yes.
Okay, away you go.
Right, deep breath. So, it is about the stamps and Elvis.
Okay.
And Richard Stedman.
Okay.
So, this is a story Richard tells, and this is how it goes. So, one night in Vegas after a dinner show, Elvis goes into Stan's dressing room, and he goes, meet me in my suite. I've got something to talk to you about.
Ooh.
And the Stamps go, all right. So they get up to the suite, and he goes, "Right, fellas, there's a guy out there who says that he's going to kill me. And we've had a few of these before, but this one looks like it's the real deal. So this is what I want you to do. Red and Sunny are going to be on either side of the stage. So if you see anybody that looks a little bit dodgy, I want you to tell them, and they'll sort it out." And the Stamps go, "All right, yeah, cool, no worries." All of a sudden, this guy bursts in through the door, right? And he's got a gun and he's shooting. And he goes, "Elvis, I'm going to kill you. I'm really, really going to kill you. I mean it," right? So everybody gets on the floor. And JD jumps on Elvis, like literally jumps on Elvis to save him from getting shot, right? And while they're on the floor, JD suddenly realizes that Elvis is shaking, right? So JD's going, what's he shaking for? He looks down and he realizes that Elvis is killing himself laughing.
Yeah, he's not shaking with fear, he's shaking with laughter.
Yeah. So basically what's happened is Elvis is just like done this whole thing on purpose to prank him, right? And Richard goes, I was only with Elvis a short time, but I will never ever forget that.
No, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Very good. Very. Your speed, your very, very quick tale this week. What was I going to say? I kind of half remember that story, but I'm glad you've told me the whole story again now and reminded me about it. So thanks very, very much indeed. Well,
thank you, and thank you, Richard, and thank you, Charlie, as well, because Charlie tells a version of it.
All right, so
very, very funny.
Yeah. Oh well, it was a funny tale anyway, and it just goes to show the sort of humor that Elvis had. Very, very funny, and me and him would have got on well because I like pranks as well. Anyway, young man, I will let you go because I know you have a date.
Yeah.
Okay.
A date with Elvis.
Yeah, a date with Elvis. Yeah. Okay. Good luck.
All right, bye.
Bye. Bye. Dylan's Elvis Tales. Does anybody remember the tales about the ping pong balls as well with Joe Gershow? That might be one that Dylan can share with us as well one week. But thank you, Dylan. I know he was on a very short schedule this week. It was still nice of him to pop in and give us that tale. Very, very nice of him. Now, the topic. Unseen Elvis footage. Yeah. This is basically Baz Luhrmann announced, as we know, a new Elvis unseen footage project. While promoting his award-winning Elvis movie, Baz often mentioned his placement of snippets of real Elvis footage into his film as Easter eggs for the core fans. He also discussed that some of the footage was previously unseen and newly discovered by his team in the Warner Brothers vaults. He then announced that due to the success of Elvis, the movie studio had granted him permission to go through all the Elvis material in their vaults to see what was there and to maybe make a documentary. Baz said that he and his team had discovered boxes and boxes of unseen footage from That's the Way It Is and Elvis on Tour. Now, here's the crux of the matter, because we already know all that. So this got me thinking, what else could Baz and his team come across while searching the vaults? A few years ago, I did an interview with a man who knew Bill Randall, the DJ Bill Randall, and he told me about the Lost Elvis movie from 1955 called The Pied Piper of Cleveland, a day in the life of a famous disc jockey. Randall even referenced his film when he introduced Elvis on the first Dorsey Brothers show, and that's the video that I did, or the interview that I did with the fella that knew Bill Randall. Okay, now there's Bill with Elvis. Okay. Rumours abound that producer Ray Santilli has a copy of the Elvis performance. Now, Ray Santilli is best known maybe for the Alien Autopsy film that was debunked later. But Ray says that also when he thought he was buying the Alien Autopsy film first time round, he got this film of Elvis performing on this The Pied Piper of Cleveland. Other rumours say that Tom Parker destroyed the copy of the film because Elvis wasn't paid for the performance. Now, I can't see that as being likely, as Parker was shrewd enough to know that somewhere down the line the movie could generate income somehow. Just clear that off. So I don't think Parker would have destroyed it. Is there a copy in the Warner Brothers vaults? Another surprise could be, let's forget about the stars, because we know that it was recorded for Charo, but was the sequence filmed during the filming of the movie Charo? So that's something else. What about movie outtakes? 31 movies, tens of thousands of feet of film, all destroyed? All destroyed? I don't think so. What about 69 opening night? We know that there's allegedly the complete performance in private hands. But what if there was someone else shooting it from the Elvis inner circle? In 1973, we have pictures of Elvis standing on the stage at the HIC during rehearsals for Aloha sometime between the 9th and the 12th of January. Was any video shot of these rehearsals? Wouldn't it make sense for the crew to rehearse camera shots and movements too? Yes, it would. Now, can you think of any other footage Baz could stumble across whilst working on the That's the Way It Is and Elvis reels? What would you love to come to light? And what would be your dream discovery? What would be your dream discovery? That's what I would like to know. So I'm going to actually ask a question of this. And as we do every week, we do a poll. And this week, I'm going to ask you to vote. Will Baz find some golden nuggets in the Elvis archives? Do you think, yes, there are some forgotten footage in there? Or no, he's only going to find That's the Way It Is and Elvis on Tour reels? So that is that. That is what I am looking for as far as, let me get that up on the screen so that I can read it. Okay, there it is. There. Yeah. Will Baz find some golden nuggets in the Elvis archives? Yes, some forgotten footage is in there, and he will find it. And no, just That's the Way It Is, Elvis on Tour reels. Right. Now, somebody says, does Riley have a say in what is released? I'm pretty sure that she does. But at the end of the day, Steve, I have the Italian book Elvis in Concert, and it says there's some 8mm footage of the Vegas opening show. There is a photograph floating around on the net and it's a reel of 8mm film, and it says July 31st, 1969, Elvis opening show, Las Vegas, the International Hotel. But it is supposed to be in private hands. And believe it or not, there's about 10 seconds of it shown on a documentary and on the net, and it literally just shows Elvis's feet as the curtain comes down. So all you see is Elvis's feet. Now, why people would just release that and nothing else, I have no idea. I really don't know why anybody would. Yeah, it's strange. It's strange. But I mean, I firmly believe that it wasn't just one person filming on the 31st of July 1969. As I said earlier, maybe somebody from Elvis's inner circle, maybe Parker asked them to film it for posterity, or maybe he was thinking ahead, and maybe, I don't know. But there you are. So that's the poll. Please vote on it. Do you think that Baz will find anything other than That's the Way It Is and Elvis on Tour reels, or no? There isn't anything else now. It's just the Elvis on Tour, and that's the way it is. Now we have to do another Hidden Elvis.
Hidden Elvis clue number 2.
And clue number 2 to add to your list of 4 is Elvis on tour? Okay, we had This Is Elvis for clue number 1, and now we have Elvis on tour for clue number 2. Jot that down or make a mental note of it, and when you've got the fourth clue, I will tell you what it is. Is it a film? Is it a song? And then you can put all 4 together and maybe tell me what you think it is by typing your answer in the chat. Okay, so we normally do Dylan's Elvis tale now, but we did it earlier. You can call in. You can call in now, obviously, on Discord. You can call in on the phone number that's on the screen there, 353 if you're outside of the Republic of Ireland. And you can also phone me on Messenger and Facebook Messenger as well. Now, we're going to do this, of course. This day in Elvis history. Yes, this day in Elvis history. If this is a red letter day for you, or you're wondering what Elvis was doing on November the 10th down through the years, well, I am going to tell you. I'm going to tell you this very, very minute. I wanted to show you that as well, because we were talking about the 69, July 31st, 1969. Was that filmed in its completion, and it's Baz going to stumble across that? Can you imagine that? Even if it's silent, it'll be great. It really will. Okay. Let's just, I'll tell you, I've got somebody on the line, so I may as well go to him, and I may as well say, hi, Vincenzo.
Hi, Steve.
Well, yeah. Have you finished Lisa's book?
Yeah, I did.
And what did you think of it? I think you told me last week you were halfway through it or something, were you?
No, I finished it.
Oh, you'd finished it. Yeah. And it was very, very emotional. And some of it was very shocking, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Now, what do you think? Do you think that Baz is going to find anything apart from Elvis on tour and That's the Way It Is footage?
I'd like to see footage from Madison Square Garden, actually.
Yeah, well, there is 8mm footage of it, isn't there? It was released there a few years ago called What Prince from Another Planet. And they did quite a good job of syncing up the sound to it and everything like that. But I know what you mean. You'd love to see a professional shoot of Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, but I was telling Dylan, even if the movie's 4 hours with an intermission, I'll sit through it.
Oh, yeah. Well, there is rumor that Baz is going to do a 4-hour version, or even more maybe. But the thing is he's busy with the That's the Way It Is and Elvis on tour. So I'd say we'll have to wait a little while longer for that.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Okay.
Nice talking to you, Steve.
Cheers, Vincenzo. Bye. Okay. Right. So now, down the years, whatever that means, 1955, yes, 1955, November the 10th. What was Elvis doing? He was, although the deal to switch from Sun to RCA was not final yet, Elvis told it to everyone he met on the 4th annual Country Music Disc Jockey Convention in Nashville. Of course he would. He'd be very, very excited, wouldn't he? Elvis listened to a demo recording brought to him by songwriter Mae Axton. It was a song she'd co-written with Tommy Durden called Heartbreak Hotel. Of course, Heartbreak Hotel. Yes. Now, 1957, I almost lost my way there. 1957, we've got Elvis performed at the Honolulu Stadium at 3 and 8:15 p.m. Look at those for shots. Great shots. Elvis at the piano. 1958, I Got Stung moved from number 65 to number 18 in the charts, with One Night on the other side. 1960, GI Blues premiered in London. RCA releases His Hand in Mine. the 12th studio album. It peaked at number 13 on the top pop album charts. It was certified gold on April 9th, 1969, and platinum March 27th, 1992 by the RIAA of America. All right, that's 1960. 1961, yeah. Elvis scored his 9th number one song in the UK with Marie's the Name of his latest flame and Little Sister. And of course, Wild in the Country production as well. 1964, Tickle Me. 1966, Easy Come, Easy Go. 1967, production for Stay Away Joe. And 1969, Change of Habit opened in the US on this day. Okay. Then we've got 1970, and I should have a photograph for 1970. Yes, I have. Here we go. The Coliseum, Oakland, California was the opening show of the November tour. In general, there can be said Elvis did more ballads on this tour, and he would introduce How Great Thou Art as one of the highlights of the show. Elvis wore the nail swirl jumpsuit, and as always, we have some fantastic shots of Elvis on stage. Fantastic. Yeah. 1971. Elvis, wearing the black pinwheel jumpsuit, performed at the Boston Garden, Boston, Massachusetts. And there's a great soundboard recording of that as well. Again, you'd wonder why they didn't professionally shoot that. Probably because they realized that Madison Square Garden was coming up. I don't know. Maybe. Then we've got the Coliseum, El Paso in Texas on this day in 1972. 1975, the Lisa Marie aeroplane was delivered to Memphis together with the 1960 Jetstar. He looks happy there, doesn't he, El Paso? Very happy. Yeah. Okay, so that was this day in history, down through the years. And we've got to do this as well.
Hidden Elvis clue number 3.
So, the third clue to go with the first two of Hidden Elvis, and this is Brenda Lee. That's clue number 3, Brenda Lee. Okay, put that with the other one and we will soon find out what the Hidden Elvis is. Now, I have another young lady on here who wishes to speak to me by the looks of it. So let me just put myself in the call. And she is actually on mute at the moment, so I'll just wait for her to come off mute.
I'm off.
Hey, how are you?
Hi, Steve.
Hello, Susan. How are you?
I'm doing well.
And to what do we owe this honor?
Well, I wanted to chime in. I mean, if there is all this archived stuff there, whether it's outtakes or concert video or even movies, it's historical significance, and I think for historical standards, it should be released, and the popularity would be immense. Look at how popular the Netflix, documentary that might just be a rehash of reinventing Elvis, but that's so popular. I just think it's for historical value.
Yeah, well, when I first read about this documentary that's going to air on Wednesday, I was quite skeptical. I thought, oh, well, this is just a rehash of the one last year. But as I've sat down and thought about it and thought more and more, I thought, hey, maybe it's not going to be as much of a rehash as the other one. So I'm really looking forward to Wednesday now.
And maybe it's more on a musical side. I know that Steve Binders was more on the, logistics of getting the show on and everything. Yeah. Maybe it's more of the musical part. I don't know. Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, I hope the talking heads don't interrupt too much. I do hope we get to hear some of the numbers as well.
And that would be good for people who've never seen it.
Well, I mean, for the younger fans anyway, this is going to be great for them. It really is. For us older ones, then, we would have seen a lot of the footage anyway. But definitely the young fans are going to get a lot from this documentary.
And with so much stuff out there now, it's, people saying that they're Elvis's child and everything. It's just going to be nice to have something that's real.
Yeah.
That's true. for a change.
Now, have you got any idea, or have you got any wishes of what you think might turn up apart from That's the Way It Is and Elvis on Tour? I mean, wouldn't it be lovely to see this, the Pied Piper of Cleveland turn up, this 1955 concert that Elvis did for making a movie short?
Well, any of that, any concert that we haven't seen yet would be wonderful. I mean, just to hear it and just to know that we could actually, be a part of it and know what it was like and everything. And even movie outtakes. And like you were saying, songs and movies that might have been, filmed, but then they cut it in the film. That would have been awesome too.
Yeah, the Let's Forget About the Stars sequence for Chara would be great if that was filmed. I don't know whether they did film it or whether by the time they got to the filming stage it had been dropped. And I don't think there's a categorical answer for it. I'm not sure whether anybody knows for sure whether it was filmed or not.
No, and we don't know. And hopefully those things, the film has been preserved and the recordings have been preserved, but all this time we don't know. But, with all the, things that we can do now, technology, I'm sure they can restore them in some capacity.
Yeah, I would say now if we find any of the movie outtakes, they will be hilarious because we know just how much fun that Elvis and the guys did have during the 60s making those movies. I would say they would be hilarious to watch.
What would be good about that too is the movie. We all love the movie, but it didn't showcase Elvis's humor.
Yes, that's right.
People realize that he had such a great sense of humor, and unless they know about it, so that would be a to showcase too.
Well, if you heard Dylan's Elvis tale earlier on where he got Richard from the Stamps and he was just lay on the floor just shaking with laughter about it.
Poor JD, though, they really teased him a lot with his water gun.
Yeah. Oh, no, listen, Elvis knew how to have a good time.
That's right.
So
I have a question. Being that it's Veterans Day, I was wearing an Elvis, Army T-shirt yesterday.
Yes.
And somebody passed me and said, "Oh, he was big deal. He served, big deal." I just looked at him. I said, "He's a veteran. Yes, sir, he is." And you get that from people. Well, he was just a superstar. He didn't really. He just went there, for show that he could do it. And people don't understand. A lot of people don't know the history of his, service. That he didn't have to go in the way he did, and it's just a shame because they kind of laugh it off like it was just a publicity thing or something.
Yeah, I know. No, it was. He could have got out of it if he wanted to, but he said, "No way, I'm going to do my service," and he did it well. I don't know many people who could have carried it off as well as Elvis did, especially losing his mother as he did just before he went away to Germany. He just admirable, really, really admirable the way he carried it all off.
It was, and he never bragged about it either.
No.
He never. He just always, that was what he did. It was his duty, and he never, bragged about it. So we all need to respect it. We all do. But I just wish people out there would know his story.
Yeah, I mean the pressure he must have been under to make sure that he got everything right, and the spotlight was definitely on him. All the other guys, they didn't have to worry about the spotlight being on them, but he did, and I'm still amazed to this day how well he carried it off.
What I love the most are the pictures that we see and the stories from those that served with him. How much he loved them and he inspired them. I think that alone is a beautiful story in itself.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Well, young lady, it's always lovely to talk to you, and I have to say thank you very, very much for your support as well, because it's most welcome. It really is.
Well, thank you. Thanks, Steve. Thanks for all you do for us.
All right, take care. Bye. Okay, we move on and we say, Cam. Hi, Cam. How are you doing?
Hey, Steve.
Hey, how you keeping well?
I'm keeping well as always, brother. Been looking forward to this day the whole week. You know how it goes in the community. We love to.
Yeah, I look
forward to listen to you on Sunday nights.
Yeah, I look forward to it as well. It makes my night as well when I get to talk to Elvis fans. Like I say, as far as I know, this is the only Elvis channel that allows fans, their voices to be heard live, and they can come on the show and they can say their part, their piece about Elvis. So, I do. I look forward to it. I look forward to speaking to the likes of yourself.
Yeah, no, it's always good fun, Steve. It's always good fun. Just quickly, in terms of the Baz footage,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I don't think he's gonna find anything new. But what I would like to see happen, maybe in future, it might end up a little bit pricey. But I'm sure I'm not the only one that feels this way. I would like to see the all the footage from the 6 shows that were filmed done professionally, maybe in a six disc set.
All right. Okay.
And have all those shows in their entirety, footage cleaned up, obviously the sound cleaned up, and then a person can obviously choose. You know, you could either watch the shows chronologically as they were done, or you could choose your favorites and watch whichever one of the 6, or whichever show you prefer in whichever order. But I think it is a shame that there were 6 shows filmed, and we haven't seen all 6 of those shows yet in their entirety.
This is the Elvis on tour you're talking about, yeah?
That's the way it is as well.
Oh yes, yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, there was a lot. There was a lot of shows filmed for that. I think there was 6 for That's the Way It Is. There was probably more than 6 for Elvis on tour. There was a lot to come. Yeah. There was a lot filmed around about the recording session. You know, the Always on My Mind and Separate Ways and all that, which we haven't seen. Yeah. Although if we have seen it, it's not in the best quality. So yeah, I agree. No. Yeah.
It might work out to be a bit pricey, but then at least give us fans the chance and the opportunity to decide how we would like to purchase those sets, either in their entirety or to purchase the 6 shows and the rehearsal footage separately, or whatever the case may be. But give us the opportunity, make the footage and the soundboards available for us to add to our collections if we would want to.
Yeah, I think they released all the audio, and from memory, there were some really, really good shows recorded in those 6 nights.
Yeah, we got the 6 shows in audio with
we did.
The 50th anniversary special, the deluxe edition set. Yeah, we got those, but we didn't get the footage from those, and I think that it would put a nice spin on it. It would just expand the experience more for me, anyway.
Yeah, I agree. So you don't think there's anything hidden that they'll stumble across when they're working on Elvis on tour, and That's the Way It Is?
Steve, that's a bit of a difficult one. I don't want to put my head on the block and say no, because it is Baz after all, and if we are all familiar with the quality of work he puts out, so I'm going to say there is probably a likelihood that he would stumble on something, and if that's the case, bring it on, show us.
Yeah. What about the 61 shows? You remember Elvis did some 61 shows. He did one in Hawaii, didn't he? For the Pearl Harbor. Maybe they'll find something like that. That would be brilliant, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be nice too. You know, give us some of the stuff that we haven't seen yet. I mean, we all know they've rehashed the 68 footage over and over and over and over again. I don't think with exception to maybe the rehearsal show that he did in his dressing room, but I know for a fact that there was only audio done for that. There was never any film.
And there's also photographs of him in a blue suit, a blue shirt, and he is. It's like a run through for the sit down show on the 27th, the afternoon of the 27th, before they came in at 6:00 and did it in front of an audience. And Steve Binder has been asked many times, was that filmed? He says no, there was only photographs taken. So again, that was a missed opportunity, wasn't it?
Yeah, but unfortunately, but luckily for us, we have the audio for that. But I mean, in terms of the That's the Way It Is footage and the Elvis on tour footage, we have hours and hours and hours of stuff. Give us the stuff we haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
Don't rehash the old stuff, because there's only so many ways that it can be edited before you run out of new material. So
a lot of people are thinking they'll wait until January when it's his 90th Could be.
It could be.
Yeah.
There's always a possibility.
All right, Cam.
There's always a possibility.
I'm glad things is getting better for you every week.
Yeah, we moving on slowly, moving up slowly. Things are getting better. The support from everyone in the family has been absolutely amazing. I'm so grateful for you guys. You guys have been an absolute help.
Elvis fans are the best, without a doubt.
Yeah, we're the best. We're definitely the best. There's nobody else out there that could bring complete strangers together 48 years later and make us feel like family. So I think he would be immensely proud of our efforts and what we're doing. But as always, brother, thank you so much for all your effort in putting in, coming up with new content and making the show exciting. It really
it's my pleasure. Thanks, Cam. Thanks for all your nice comments. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye. That was Cam, and we move on. Oh, yes. We have a young lady by the name of Priscilla. Hi, Priscilla.
Hey, my boy. How are you?
Well, how are you? Another week flashes by.
I know. Do you know the sad thing that has happened in my house is my husband says, we'll have to get home. Your show is on.
Good man. I like his style.
Yeah. He's well trained. No, I'm sorry. So, Steve, I'm afraid now, and you're going to be shocked when I tell you this.
Oh.
I'm not holding out a lot of hope for anything really too much now.
No, you think the well is nearly dry, do you?
Well, I think if they had it, Steve, why would they hold on to it? It's money. Why would? Okay, if you look at Baz's Elvis film, why wait? A 2-year gap or more for this? Strike while the iron is hot, Steve. These people are not doing that to satisfy the needs of us. Elvis fans. They're doing it for financial gain.
Yeah, so, but what I'm hoping for, right, is this: they stumble across something that they didn't know was in the vaults. Because do you remember how they came across Harbour Lights? They came across when it rains, it really pours in sun as well. There's a few things like that. I'm just hoping that maybe there's a reel of film or a reel of videotape in those archives that they didn't know was there.
Steve, I'm hoping too. I am so hopeful. I think I am hopeful. I mean, I'd love to think that those things were there. I'd love to think that we get to see all that was recorded for, all them shows that have been recorded. I'd love to think that. I just think if they had it, they'd have already done that.
Yeah.
Without Baz Luhrmann for that, Now, look, and I think a lot of what is there, I think we have seen a good bit of it, even if it is poor quality. And come here till I tell you, if they put all that poor quality together on one and sold it, would I buy it? Absolutely.
Yeah, of course we would.
They all buy it? Absolutely.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Are you going to be watching the documentary on Wednesday?
I'm hoping to be. I am. I don't have Netflix. I'm an old dinosaur where I am. But I am in the discussions with a buddy of mine who has Netflix.
Yeah, and you can watch it that way.
I'm hoping she'll allow me to come visit her.
Yeah.
The other thing, Steve, is I think any positivity that we can spread around Elvis, be this documentary, a rehash of an old documentary, as long as it's not that mad, ludicrous nonsense that seems to gain more traction than the actual, verified, justified documentation or entertainment. I think these are amazing opportunities, and it's up to us as Elvis fans to push and tell people, this is coming, you should watch it.
Yeah.
Even if you don't like Elvis, that's up to us. We need to spread the positivity and drown out all that negativity. That's what we need to do.
Yeah, well, this documentary now,
forward.
Yeah, I mean, this documentary on Wednesday now is going to be good for the younger fans, the newer fans, definitely, because they won't have seen a lot of this. If there's any young fans listening to me now,
2 minutes ago.
did you? you?
I
Okay.
shouted at you a minute ago because you called us old.
Yeah, old fogey like me.
No, you did right.
But yeah, I mean, if there's any young fans watching now or listening to me, take my word for it. You're going to see some outtakes which you won't have seen if you're a young or a new fan from the '68 special, by the looks of it.
But to capitalise on that there point, Steve, you had heard a vague recollection of Dylan's tales this week.
I had.
It's nice to hear them, somewhat. And we have spent a long time saturating ourselves in these kind of tidbits of useless information that the rest of the world have knowing. So it is nice sometimes, and it is nice when you're sat down and you don't have to do the research and the information is given to you. So I think every possible opportunity for that. And like as you said, yes, the younger folks or the new recruits, as we'll refer to them.
Yes.
Yes, of course, they're going to enjoy any opportunity to get this kind of information. And remember, they come from an age where they're not used to having to do the work for it. Like, we had to buy books.
Yeah.
We had to read through an awful lot of, unenjoyable stuff to get the information. They have it at their fingertips. So
we had to queue outside record stores in the rain, waiting for the shop to open so that we could get the latest album.
And get in there after being soaked wet, and they would be gone. The one the person before you was just got the last one.
Exactly.
Anyway,
Now the Elvis Evolution show. It looks like we're booking next week, and we're going to book August. I mean, it's going to be running for quite a while before we get to see it, but it looks like it's going to be August for us anyway.
I was looking at maybe an earlier weekend, but it just being myself that went. So I was hoping that we'd piggyback on other Elvis family members being there. Yes, that would be nice. I certainly wouldn't be able to travel in August. That's not a good time for me. So I'm hoping to go in May, and then that we'll all go together later.
Yeah.
Because I reckon it's going to be there up until Christmas, I imagine.
Oh, probably at least till the end of the year. See, I mean, if it was up to me, I'd be there. I'd be first in line. Oh, you see what I did there? First in line. May. I'd be the first person there, but of course, work and personal things obviously have to be taken care of first. So it does look like it's going to be August.
Well, and you know what? Any time would be great to get there. And of course, they'll have ironed out all the kinks, and you'll know how fabulous it is by then. So you'll have a huge climax to it, and that's going to make it an even more special weekend, Steve.
Exactly.
Any opportunity we get to spend time enjoying what that man has done for the world will be worth it. Doesn't matter when it's happening. It's just that I'm not sure I could wait till the time was suitable for all three of us to go. So I'm attempting to bite the bullet. But again, Steve, there's a huge cost in it. Like,
oh yeah,
I mean, it's not something you can, €1,500. You won't see any change out of it. Like,
well, we're thinking of we're actually thinking of taking the car over now, actually, and making a whole holiday of it. Not just the show. We're going to spend time in England as well before we come back as well. So we thought of doing that.
Oh, well, that sounds lovely. Well,
yeah.
You would have a few contacts, that lump of land, wouldn't you, Steve?
I would have a few family members, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, right. That's great to hear from you, Priscilla. It really is.
And you too, Steve.
All right, take care. Cheers. And have a good week. Have a good week.
Have a good week.
Bye.
You too.
Bye.
Bye, Steve. Take care.
Okay, right. So we move on. Great phone call from Priscilla, as always. Yeah, it looks like I am going to be going to the Elvis Evolution, which is the sort of the immersive show that we know is coming to the Excel Centre in London in May, and it looks like I'm not going to be able to make it until August. I could say if it wasn't for sort of work and personal and family and all this, I would be there first in line in May, but no, it looks like it's going to be August, and I can't wait. I'm obviously going to be very excited about it. And of course, I will be looking for people who go before me to ring in and tell us all about it. Definitely. I'd love to hear as much as I can from people who are going to go before me. Right now, we have another young lady on here by the name of Tanya. Tanya, hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. Good to hear from you.
I would like to talk about, if you don't mind, about these clickbait videos that I keep seeing.
Oh, yes. Oh, we all know about those, don't we?
Yeah, the one I was sharing with you the other day kind of made him look like more like Jimmy Savile or something.
Oh, yeah. What was it? Something about, was he like Diddy, but he got away with it or something? Was it something like that?
So what's that?
I think that the title of it was he like Diddy, but Elvis got away with it or something like that, wasn't it?
It was something like Elvis is a monster or something.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Elvis is a monster. Yeah, I knew it was something like that. Yeah, that was the title. Elvis is a monster. Oh, dear. Yeah.
Yeah, they're bringing out all sorts of stories.
Yeah, I mean, all we can do really is report them for misinformation. There's a report button that you can report these things and leave it with YouTube. That's all you can do, as far as I know.
Yeah, when you said that they like bad news of like 100,000 subscribers or something, or views.
Oh, well,
yeah, or something.
Yeah, well, the point I was making was you get a video like that, you get a negative video or you get a sensationalist headline and it gets sort of like 100,000 views. And then you get another channel who is doing their best to, promote the good side of Elvis respectfully, keep his legacy alive in memory, and all that. And then it gets, 1,000 views, it just... I don't know. I was frustrated at the time, because I'd been seeing a lot of those videos pop up on my feed, and I've just removed them. But it just, to me, I was distraught nearly to think that a video like that would get 100,000 views, and then somebody like, say, Rick or Brent's, who are trying to promote at the good side of Elvis, they might end up with a couple of thousand views. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I there's also stories of Elvis that has like 6 brothers or something.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's those ones as well. There's another one where Jesse didn't die, and it was Elvis and Jesse throughout his career. When Elvis was tired, Jesse would fill in and all that sort of rubbish as well. I mean, and it really is just rubbish,
They really do brainwash you, don't they?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm sure there are people who think it's true, and but. It's not. I mean, even when you give them the facts of things, they just don't listen because they're brainwashed and they just can't see any other side. Even when you give them facts, they say no, that's not right, and I just give up in the end. Do you think that Baz is going to find anything other than that's the way it is and Elvis on tour footage? Do you think we're going to be in for a treat, some golden nuggets or something coming out as well?
What I'd like to see is footage of him in the army of doing something. Yeah,
well, see, they only filmed him really at the first day or two when he was sort of drafted, and then they had to leave him alone, didn't they? And they could take still pictures. And then they took footage of him his last few days in the army as well. But actually during his army service, they weren't allowed to film him, unfortunately.
Yeah. So the unseen footage, would that be like a show or another film?
Yeah, I mean, I even mentioned it to one of the other callers, actually, that 1961 Hawaii, the benefit concert he did, or the rehearsal footage maybe for Aloha. We know he did rehearsals between the 9th and the 12th of January. Even movie outtakes, things like that, all those sort of things. And then the Pied Piper of Cleveland, which was a show he did. He did a couple of songs, and it was called the Pied Piper of Cleveland. It was like a day in the life of a DJ, and it was Bill Randall, the DJ. He was a big DJ in the 1950s. All those sort of things we would hope would turn up. And maybe I thought, well, maybe Baz, this is the time now when he goes into the Warner Brothers archives, the Elvis archives, he just stumbles across a reel of film, loads it up, and there it is, something that nobody has seen for over 60 odd years. Wouldn't that just be fantastic?
Yeah, it would be even more amazing if there was unseen movie of his.
Oh, yeah. Oh, then there was another one, wasn't there? Let's Forget About the Stars. Maybe that sequence. Okay, it was dropped from the film, but maybe it was shot, and that would be great to see.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Or A Star Is Born or something.
Oh, well, no. We know he didn't do that, unfortunately. Yeah. Okay. Nice to speak to you, Tanya.
Nice to speak to you.
All right.
Yeah.
All the best. Bye-bye. Yeah. Tanya just touched on the clickbait videos, as they're called. And I was saying earlier on in the week on Discord, I was saying how frustrating it was that something like that, Elvis seen on a flying saucer or something, or Elvis working in KFC, gets 100,000 views, and yet a really, really good, decent channel, which, does a respectful, supportive video of Elvis might get, I don't know, 2,000 views. That's just mind-boggling to me. Now, let's move on, because I need to do a song I wish Elvis had recorded. And it's suggested by Tanya, who I was just speaking to. Tanya, it's your turn this week. Love Man. Yes, now, Love Man is the third posthumous album by American soul recording artist Otis Redding. It was released on June 20th, 1969, and features songs Redding had recorded in 1967. The album was part of a series of posthumous releases by Atco Records after Redding's mainstream reputation skyrocketed in the wake of his 1967 death. Love Man charted at number 46 on the Billboard 200 and number 8 on the R&B albums. The album title track has a mid-tempo funk groove and lyrical references to the hippie culture that had begun to appreciate Redding at the time. The song charted at number 72 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 17 on the R&B singles. And Love Man is a song that Tanya wished Elvis had recorded. So I'll put the link below and you can have a listen. And you can tell me, yes or no, do you think Elvis could have done a good job of it? And don't forget, you can send me your suggestions as well. Sort of, which song do you wish Elvis had sung, accompanied himself on the piano live, sitting down halfway through a concert and singing that. And also, I would like, if you haven't already, to subscribe and click the bell and select the all notifications bell. Yes, that would be very, very nice. Now we have this. Caption the photo. Ba-dum-bum. Yeah, caption the photo, and it was this one. There was a lot going on in this in this picture, and there's boots everywhere and people holding onto Elvis's head, and somebody else looking very concerned at what's going on with Elvis. And here was a few that I liked, and they did get likes, but they didn't get the most likes. Hey, what happened to my blue suede shoes, honey? Yee-haw, cowboy, there's a snake in my boot. Yay, I'm stuck on you, literally. My bunions are killing me. But it was actually a tie with 5 likes each. And there was DL40, you've got me doing what you want me, baby, what you want me to do. And also Dylan Bowen, I'm practicing my ballet skills. So a tie this week. Congratulations to DL40 and Dylan Bowen on the caption, the photo. I will, as always, put another photograph up on Monday or Tuesday, depending on when I get round to doing it, on the community tab on this channel, and you can caption away to your heart's content. Now, underrated song. Don't forget, there's still time to vote on the Will Baz find golden nuggets in the Elvis archives, and the options are yes, some forgotten footage is in there, or no, all he's going to find is That's the Way It Is and Elvis on Tour reels. Now, if I don't see any more votes coming in the next couple of seconds, I might actually close it, because I'm interested to see what it is. End poll. And yeah, wow. Okay, here we go now. Overwhelmingly, 75% of you think that there is some forgotten footage in there, which hopefully he will stumble across. And only 25% of you think, nope, he's just going to see That's the Way It Is and Elvis on Tour reels. So thanks to everybody that voted. And I hope that 75% of you are right. And he unearths something. One day they go in there, they open this box, and there it is. The Holy Grail. But what's it going to be? Oh, yes. What is it going to be? Now, underrated song chosen by Jeannie via Discord. Thanks, Jeannie. And it's Let It Be Me. Yeah. By these folks, the Everly Brothers. It's a 1960 single by them, and it was a top 10 hit for them in the United States and spawned many additional cover versions. They recorded the song in December 1959 in New York, and it was released by Cadence Records as a single with Since You Broke My Heart as the B-side, as you can see there from the illustration that I am, or the photograph that's on the screen. Now, Elvis sang it live numerous times during his January-February 1970 engagement at the International Hotel in Las Vegas. And RCA were there and recorded some of the shows, and they released a selection of songs from those concerts on June 23rd, 1970 as the superb On Stage album. What an album that is. Let It Be Me was one of the songs selected for inclusion on the album. It was the February 17th performance that was placed as the final track on the album. And what a fantastic way to finish the album. So the Sweet Inspirations released their version of Let It Be Me as a single with the B-side When Something Is Wrong With My Baby on Atlantic Records in 1967. It reached number 94 on the Billboard Hot 100 and 13 on the Hot R&B Singles chart. So there you go. You may have learned something new there. The Sweet Inspirations sang it in 1967, 3 years before Elvis sang it on stage. I'll put the link below for that in case you're unfamiliar, and you can leave your comments about it as well. And you can send in your underrated songs as well if you wish. Along with photoshops, smoking hot photos, songs you wish Elvis had sung live, funny caption photos, and you can suggest a topic for discussion as well. So, oh yes.
Hidden Elvis, fourth and final clue.
Hidden Elvis clue, the fourth and final one, to go along with the three other ones. And Ian Robert Houghton says, who knows what was recorded for the sessions recorded at Graceland? Someone must have some video from the recordings. Do you know, that's another thing. There was 2 photographs, wasn't there, taken in February, just when he was doing the Jungle Room sessions, and they were for a police badge. You know, the ones with he's in the blue sort of denim sort of jacket he was wearing, and one is got a lot of like bounce light on it, and the other one is a better photograph, and he's wearing his sunglasses, and he looks very serious. And the reason why he's serious is because I don't think you're supposed to smile or laugh or anything on a police badge ID or anything like that. I can't believe there was only those 2 photographs taken. Surely they took more photographs. Maybe they took photographs of him actually recording in the Jungle Room. Although I did, when I spoke to Sam Thompson, he doesn't remember a photographer being in there. So here we go. If you can put these together, hidden clue, this is Elvis. Hidden clue number 2 was Elvis on tour. Hidden clue number 3 was Brenda Lee. And finally, as I just said there, Willie Nelson is the 4th clue. Willie Nelson. Now, it's an Elvis song. So can anybody tell me from those 4 clues, Oh, yes. Margaret, well done, Margaret. Always on My Mind in 1972. Brenda released hers in June 72. Willie Nelson also recorded it. Well done. And you just pipped at the post Vicky as well, because Vicky's got Always on My Mind. Shirley, Always on My Mind. Vincenzo, wow, look at all those Always on My Mind. You did very, very well, everybody getting Always on My Mind from those 4 clues. I'm well impressed. The winner of Fan of the Month last month was Dylan. Well done, Dylan. Congratulations. Please get in touch with me and we will get a prize off to you. I often wondered, did Elvis sing after February 1970, Let It Be Me, again, live? If you can tell me, you can either tell me now on the live chat, or if you're watching this on catch up, you can send in a comment and tell me, no, he didn't record it again or sing it again after February 1970, or yes, he did in 1970, blah, blah, blah. Because you lot are very, very knowledgeable. Very, very good. So, it leads me to say, Smoking Hot Photo of the Week. Well, this one I've harvested from the Discord channel, the Elvis photo of the day, and it was sent in by Alan, and it's this one. Wow. What do you think of that, ladies? My goodness me, that's a definite smoking one, isn't it? Jill has got a load of smoking hearts. Rebel says, wow. Shirley says, so hot. So hot. Sally says, eye candy. Doreen says, holy cow. It's getting very hot in here. Dolores, goodness me. Edward says, gorgeous, of course. Mrs. EAP, stunning. There isn't one photo he isn't smoking hot. That's right. I mean, it's not hard to find a smoking hot photo, is it? And most of them in the Elvis photo of the day are smoking hot. So thanks to Alan for providing me with that. We're looking forward to the documentary on Netflix on Wednesday. I will be looking for people to ring in and tell me what they thought of it. And we can discuss that all next week to our heart's content. Like I say, I really am looking forward to, especially new fans, because new fans are going to get a lot from this documentary. I know they are. I just know by the setup of it and what it's going to be showing us, new fans will get a lot from it. So I'm looking forward to hearing next week new fans what they thought of this documentary that's on Netflix. Well, that flew by. Great fun. Thanks to all the callers. You really were great this week. Thanks to Dylan for his tale. Thanks to the people that took part in the Hidden Elvis. People that took part in the Elvis quiz. You are all superstars. But unfortunately, we have to ask Al to say,
Elvis has left the building. Thank you and good night.